Hi everyone, welcome back to Teacher with Wings and welcome back to another interesting episode where I'm going to help you out in answering another very important question of your MBA journey, and that is which specialization you should be taking and how exactly to make a decision on the same. Well, if you're coming to my channel for the first time, then hi, my name is Anuradha. I'm a student of MBA HR and I'm pursuing my MBA from Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies. This is my platform where I try to honestly help out everyone out there who's trying to figure out how to make the MBA years more productive and more promising. उसी जर्नी में आज मैं आपको लेके जाने वाली हूँ in the process of deciding which specialization you should be going ahead with. So if you're someone who's still in a dilemma, then this video is absolutely going to help you out. I'm going to talk about the generic specializations in separate videos in the coming series. Just like I made a series on the GE pivot process, I saw that it helped out people. So इसको भी मैं सिर्फ एक वीडियो में आंसर ना करके एक पूरे के पूरे सीरीज में the upside, downside, the expectations of different specializations उसको लेके आगे आपको बताऊंगी, and I will try to convince some of my friends to come on the camera and speak to just give you a better idea about the whole scenario. तो चलो उसको असाइड रखते हैं एंड नाउ लेट्स डिसाइड हाउ टू गो अबाउट विथ चूजिंग अ स्पेशलाइजेशन. आपने हमेशा से देखा होगा फ्रॉम योर स्कूल डेज देयर आर टू कैटेगरीज ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स. One who are very sure of what they wish to do and how they wish to go ahead in their life, and the other ones are the wanderers and the average batch. मैं उस पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी को हमेशा से बिलोंग करती हूँ, तो मैंने भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें गलतियाँ करके एंड थोड़ी बहुत एनालिसिस एंड इधर उधर से रिव्यूज़ लेके डिसाइड करी है. Some of those decisions worked out for me and some of them were the biggest mistakes of my life. So today I'm going to share a little bit of my insight that how you can decide what specialization you should go ahead with. If you belong to category 1 wherein you are absolutely clear कि भाई आपको कौन सा specialization लेना है, then do not watch this video because it's not going to add any value. मैं आपको वही बात बताऊंगी जो मोस्टली बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोली होगी ऑलरेडी. तो अगर आप दूसरे कैटेगरी को बिलोंग करते हो where you are just trying to figure out which specialization would work for me, maybe this is going to help you out. Now MBA, which again abhi at this point of time there are so many variations that comes in the MBA batch, MBA course as well, right? The general MBA has 4 major specializations: HR, finance, marketing and operations. Now you would go for further deviation, so there are MBA programs which runs for data science, for data analytics and a lot of other things as well, but they are not a part of the general MBA. General MBA basically entails these 4 branches: HR, finance, marketing and operations. So let's bifurcate the whole thing one by one, dissect it and see which profile works for you. I would always say that it should always be a 50-50 decision. In fact, I would rather say it should be a 60-40 decision. 60 out of your personal choice and your personal understanding, and 40 out of 40 based on what is there in the market, right? Because suppose say the finance, I'll give you an example that even this year in particular, the finance placements have excelled in my own college. So somewhere down the line when I saw my friends bagging a package which was very very high as compared to what the other people got, for a moment I was also one among those people who were getting intimidated that probably this is where I need to go. But at the same point of time, you need to understand that just money cannot be your only motivation to be in a certain specialization, because don't forget, the money that the companies would be paying, they'll be absolutely expecting triple and 4 times the amount of output from you. So if you don't have the genuine interest towards that particular thing, you would not be able to perform. तो इसीलिए this decision of how to decide your specialization should be a 60-40 ratio. 60% on the basis of your own choices. Now I'll give you certain examples which will help you out in deciding. So I chose for HR. For me it was a no-brainer. Like not even for a second I thought that I'm going to be confused or I might go for something else. I was very clear I want to go for HR. There was a little bit of confusion between HR and marketing, but since marketing in the beginning years would require you to get into the sales profile, and sales is something I was not at all comfortable with. Again, MBA के बाद की जो sales होती है, that is way different from what the kind of sales you might be getting afraid of. क्योंकि वहाँ पे आपको directly customer से deal नहीं करना होता, but you are discussing and dealing with companies and brands. So that makes things For me, a little difficult. So I stepped away from it. Now, talking of my HR domain. Now, if somebody would ask you, why do you wish to go for HR? HR is not just about recruitment. It is about so many other functions alongside. One of the function of it is learning and development, which every industry, every company has with it. Now, the 6 years of my teaching experience, my academic experience, along with that, the fluency or the communication or whatever skills I have, I think this would be the one vertical of HR wherein I would not be dumping my years of experience, and I would be rather using that to exponentially grow in the ladder. So I decided to go for HR. In the very same manner, try to introspect yourself. What skills and capabilities do you have as a human being? If you're good with numbers, it's not really necessary that you would be very good in finance or very bad in finance. What is really required over here is how good are you with analytics. I am very bad with numbers, let me just tell you up front, out in the world, but I performed pretty well, above average, in all my finance subjects in the first semester and even in the second semester. So one thing is very clear, it's not that the marks or the scores are something that needs to be taken too seriously for dropping or dumping a specialization. It requires more of analytical skills, more of understanding than just the proficiency in terms of calculation and numbers, right? At the same point of time, if you have an edge for marketing, now marketing is something which requires you to be an outspoken person. But does that mean that if you are an introvert, you would not be a great marketeer? I'll give you a classic example of Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. He is considered, there are so many psychometric tests which prove that he was an introvert. But today Apple is a brand that anyone would love to have with him or her. How did an introvert person get onto that place and then became a brand in himself? So somewhere down the line, it has to be decided upon your capabilities and how far you can improve the capabilities. For example, if I'm talking about my communication skills, if I am rating myself, like suppose say 3.7 or maybe 4 out of 5 in communication skill, but at the same point of time, my job requires me to learn certain softwares like Excel, R, Python and all of that. How far can I stretch myself in terms of my learning abilities to actually gauge the knowledge from all of these disciplines? If it isn't that difficult, if it is something that I can manage, then obviously I would be going ahead with what I want and a little bit of faith that I'll be able to learn more in the particular domain. There is a lot of myth. There is this one myth that I see with a lot of people, that they say ki since the placement in this particular specialization is amazing, you should go ahead with it. I would never advise that to anyone. Reason being, your money after a point would become a secondary thing, and it is a fact. आप सैलरी सिर्फ एक दिन आपको क्रेडिट होती है. You have to work for 30 days across the month, around the entire, around the clock, whatever your work is expecting. If you're not really very clear with what your work is requiring, then that one day of cherry on top would not make you extremely happy to celebrate forever, right? So keep this thing in your mind, that your skills need to be your first decision of which specialization I need to get into. Obviously, a little bit of study of the market is obviously suggested, because I can be an amazing HR in terms of my knowledge and capability, but if the jobs in that particular sector are shutting down, or maybe they are being put through a cut or something like that, I might go for maybe marketing, which is not very different from HR. Pretty much the same, but not exactly the same, so that at least I have my survival, and later on in my corporate journey I can switch from marketing to HR as well. तो वो सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. For now, go for that 60-40 ratio. Make sure that you decide yourself that which specialization you want to go. Again, I'll say this, do not listen, सुनो सबकी करो अपनी. I can give you a suggestion that I find you very good with numbers, maybe you should get into finance. Don't just listen to me. Understand your own self. मतलब टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, अगर मैं बहुत रॉ एंड रफ लैंग्वेज में बोलूँ कि तो सबको अपनी औकात पता होती है. आपको पता है कि आप कितना कर सकते हो और आप कहाँ तक अपनी जर्नी को लेके जा सकते हो. So analyze that, see if you can actually grow in that particular manner. Go ahead with it, don't worry about it. But if you are not very sure, then please do not put yourself through that trauma. Third very important thing, have a little bit of market study. See what is going on, what is trending in the market. Now there are trends का मतलब ही होता है there will be ups and downs forever. So if HR is not in demand today, it does not mean it's not going to be in demand forever. It's going to come back in demand and any which ways. एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल दूंगी, बेल बॉटम जीन्स सबको पता है ना, बेल बॉटम जीन्स एक पॉइंट पे इतना चलता था, फिर वो एकदम खत्म हो गया एंड आज की डेट में it has come back again. It has become a fashion statement. So something which is going through a dipping nature does not really mean that it is going to be dipping forever. It is going to come back, and that's why you need to have a little bit of market analysis. On top of everything, my tip number 4 would be try to understand what is the expectation of that particular specialization. After this, in this entire series, I'll make specific dedicated videos for every particular specialization. I'll try to interview some of my friends to actually give you an insight of that particular specialization. That's going to help you out in a better manner than just listening from me. And then tip number 5, which is going to be absolutely important, is make sure that whatever decision you are making, it's not just a random decision. It is a decision where you have actually given your thought process to. Once you choose a specialization, it's not going to be like a butter movement from one specialization to the other. You will have to put things at stake to actually get the things changed. So जब आप कॉलेज में आओगे, आपको ऑलमोस्ट अ मंथ का टाइम रहता है वेर इन यू आर टॉट ऑल द सब्जेक्ट्स, यू आर गिवन एन एक्सपोजर टूवर्ड्स ऑल द स्पेशलाइजेशंस एंड देन यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू लॉक. अभी आपने अगर कोई भी स्पेशलाइजेशन को लॉक भी किया है, डू नॉट वरी, इट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू बी अ फाइनल लॉकिंग. It's just basically to get a tentative number that how many people are interested in a particular specialization. ठीक है, तो ये था मेरा आज का क्रिस्प वीडियो ऑफ अराउंड 12-15 मिनट्स. इसके बाद की आपको जो वीडियोस मिलेंगे वो ज़्यादा डेडिकेटेड रहेंगे. उसमें मैं अपने फ्रेंड्स की इंटरव्यू करने की भी कोशिश करूँगी, सो दैट यू हैव अ बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट विच स्पेशलाइजेशन वुड वर्क फॉर यू. And at the same point of time, if you want me to ask certain questions to my friends which is going to help you individually to understand the choice better, please share it in the comment box. इस वीडियो को खत्म करने के बाद में मैं एक स्क्रीनशॉट लगाऊंगी wherein I want to just show it to you that it is very painful. There are more than 70% of the people who consume the content but they do not subscribe. सब्सक्राइब कर लो यार. अगर 25% में मेरा नियर अबाउट 899 समवेयर अराउंड 900 हो रहा है, तो अगर बाकी लोग भी कर देंगे तो सिंपल मैथ्स आराम से वो मेरा 2000 क्रॉस कर जाएगा एंड दैट विल मीन द वर्ल्ड फॉर मी. सो प्लीज टेक अ मोमेंट, सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल, press the bell icon so that you get notified about all my contents that I'm going to put up. And इसके बाद में बहुत सारे इंटरव्यूज होंगे which is going to help you out. तो मेरे लिए नहीं, खुद के लिए कर दो, और खुद के लिए करो तो थोड़ा सा गुडविल मेरे लिए कर दो by just subscribing to the channel and sharing with people who are embarking their MBA journey. That was it from my side. I hope it really will help you out. If it did, thank you so much. And if it did not, please comment down below and let me know that what else are you expecting. I would love to help you out in whatever way possible. That was it for today. Best level of luck for your results. अच्छा आएगा, टेंशन मत लो. Whatever it will be the best for you. So आज के लिए इतना ही. Bye bye. Have a great time.